Hi everyone. I'm in my studio at my gallery and I'm going to do part two of the challenge of drawing. First we did the drawing last week and now I'm going to prep the canvas, and I have a 16 by 20 canvas. So let's get started. First we start with some gesso. Let's take the plastic off here first. This is a 16 by 20 stretch canvas with a 1.5 inch profile. And what that means is this area here. You want to get a wrap canvas because then you don't have to worry about framing it. And it's become very popular because you can paint the sides, your profile, with the same pattern you've got on the painting, which is just wonderful. Let's get this unwrapped and we will apply. I'm not sure yet whether I'll do 1 or 2 layers of gesso, but they come pre-primed, but quite often it's not enough, and I personally don't care for it. Some people don't care, and because they're putting such a lot of paint on it anyways. And I like a little bit of a smoother texture, so I put a good layer of gesso, and as you can see I have a big bucket, and have everything laid out here. Right, so today I'm going to use my household painting brushes because they cover more area and I can get a smooth finish on my gesso. So let's see which one I'm going to use. This one here. This will be good. So get your gesso and go in one direction the first time round, just straight out of the pot. You can water it down a tiny bit, but not a lot. You want this to be good and firm on here. And we'll just get this painted on. Okay. And you need to do your sides also. So don't leave any part of the canvas unfinished. So just kind of smooth it out as you're going. Make it nice. You don't want any lumps in there. If you see any lumps in the paint, which can happen sometimes if your gesso has been sitting a while. And make sure you pick those off because you don't want lumps unless you want crazy texture on your piece. I try to keep it smooth and then add the texture I want with stencils or piled up paint or crackle finish. There's lots of things you can do. Okay, so now I'm going to paint my edges. And this all happens pretty fast. And then we're going to let it dry for a while. Make sure it's good and dry. Come back and check it out. Some people, especially oil painters, they prefer a smooth canvas. So if they've bought a canvas that's a little bit rough, they'll put about 3 to 5 coats of gesso on and sand in between the coats. I have done this for a smoother finish. So it's up to you, what you want to do. The acrylic will stick, and so you don't have to worry about it if it's smooth. Turn it, get some more paint here. Now I'm not focusing a whole lot on putting a thick layer of paint on the sides because that's not our focal. And we'll get this done. Okay, I see some dry patches right here. And you notice I don't wear gloves. I probably should. If you don't like getting acrylic all over yourself, because it's going to happen, wear gloves. But I don't. I just like the tactile feel of everything, and sometimes I get my fingers right in the paint and do some designs. You'll probably see me do that. All right, so we've got this on there. It's pretty smooth. And so let's let it dry and take a 15-minute break and come back and maybe start painting. And what we're going to do today is our base coat that's going to be underneath the face. And so we'll put the base coat on. It'll be an abstract background. And then we'll put the drawing that we did last week on, and put her on here and then start working on it. And I'm not sure if we'll be able to get working on the face today. That might be next week's project, but let's get this done first. Okay. All right, where's my... Gotta click this off. All right. Okay. Stop talking video. I don't know what that means. Is it going to record? Oh, it's recording. All right, so what I have here, this is called GAC 800, and it reduces crazing and an extender for acrylics. So I'm just going to put a few blobs of it here to help mix my paint. And I'm going to pick some of my favorite colors. There's a blue-green. Oh boy, my voice is gone. And some white, and let's see what else we got here. We've got a phthalo turquoise, and let's see, I gotta figure out a color combo here, and maybe a dash of pink, okay, and of course white. We're going to be using white. Looking for things. I can't find my palette knives. Don't see any. Okay, so here's a palette knife. I'm going to put out a blob of titanium white right there. And put that away. Then we'll put some phthalo purple. No, phthalo turquoise. Now, see, it's a good idea to check your paints before you open them. And before you close them, clean the tops. This one got under the radar there. So I'm going to put some of this phthalo turquoise. You see, have a bit of that. And, ouch, some blue-green. This is a really pretty color. All right, wipe my palette knife off. And we'll put a bit of this over here and mix it with the GAC. So hopefully that'll extend the life. And this one here, put a bit of GAC in there. This stuff is kind of not coming out like a squirt, so I guess that's a good thing. All right. And then we'll put a little bit of this pink, which is a fluorescent magenta. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to clean this off for that one. All right, so we got it cleaned off, and I'll put some of that down. So there's our three colors that I'm going to do the background with. And I'm going to start with just a light wash. Just wipe off your fingers right onto your canvas. So we'll start with a light wash and see where we go. Okay, let's rock on here. Okay, I like the sponge brushes. You can pick these up at a hardware store, and they run about $1 a piece, and they're really kind of handy. So we'll use that somewhere along the line here. I'm going to mix a bit of white, my white in there, mix some white in with this. And you notice I'm not mixing the colors so that they're completely blended. So we'll leave some striations in there. And I'm going to use the brush we just used to put on the gesso. So just kind of wish-wash all over the place. Wherever you want some color. Okay, I'm going to put that up there. And I'm going to put this down here. Now see where the color is got a hint of the pink in there. And just kind of mishmash it all over the place. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be perfect. You just kind of have fun with it. Just kind of lay it down. And then we put some of this green up here. And mix it in. Darn it, it's thumping all over the place here. Okay. And I'll put a little bit more of that green in there. And sometimes you'll see little bits. So pull the little bits off your canvas because otherwise they are there for good. All right, we just found one. All right, I might have to do a bit more paint by the looks of it. This is a good sized canvas here. So it's almost like a patchwork, what we've got going on right now. See how the colors are all mixed in together, and they're really fun. It's fun to do this. So just keep it to 3 colors to start with and see what happens, and then you can build up layers. So we're just gonna, and you know, the background may not even look like this when we get done. Who knows? Things change. Okay, I can see I need to throw a shirt on top of this one. I don't want to get paint on my white shirt. So this is my Bada Bing Bada Boom Club. Remember when the Sopranos were in? I had a friend that was really into them. And we got shirts that say Bada Bing Bada Boom. So it makes a great painting shirt. And I don't have to worry about wrecking my clothes. All right. I think we need to mix more color in here. And this particular piece, I don't know where it's going to go, but I was thinking of painting the face on here, and I have a crackle paste here, and the whole piece could be crackled, and I don't know. Leave it in the comments and let me know if you'd like to see it done that way. It might be fun. Okay, I'm going to get some of this yak down so I don't have to fight with this. Right, we got some stuff dried around the edges there. Oop, there we go. So we've got a good chunk of yak. So let's see. And I'm going to put some more white on here. If I could get this one open. This is what happens if you leave your acrylics for too long. So I guess. And I know my friend Betty Franks, when I used to watch her videos, she used gesso instead of white. And sometimes I use the gesso too. If I can't find the white, I'll use the gesso because the gesso is white. And it works just fine. So if you're in a pinch, use your gesso, unless it's a different color. I have some black gesso at home, so that wouldn't work. Anyway, so this is so pretty what we've got going on here. I am going to put some of this darker blue and we'll mix it in. And we'll clean off some stuff here. Ooh, this is a yummy color. It's a lot like a ultramarine blue. I'll just go like this too. So take your knife and you're done. Put it on the painting. You'll be blending it down anyways. So let's see what we got going on here. All right. And mix it with some of this sea green looking. Okay. a bit in there. Chunks of dried paint, get that off. Now I am going to switch my brushes, and I have this luscious new brush I bought. It's just gorgeous. It's a Royal and Lancel Jumbo. And I actually found it at Michael's of all places. So let's give it a whirl. Yeah, these are real pastel colors we got going on here. But you know, you can add the darker colors as we start layering. So I'm going to just paint my edges here. I'm putting down some of this at random just to get it covered. And we can always go back and put marks on there, make it interesting. But get it covered while you're at this stage. Let's see. Ooh, this brush is luscious. Okay, and we got a big chunk of paint right there. So take that off. There we go. And there's one that got away right there. All right, I'm going to mix some of that crazy stuff. So see how the color went on. All right, we'll get that done. I'm going to put some white in there. I'm not fussing about the color at this point because we're going to do some stenciling on top of this once it's dry, the next layer, and make it real interesting. Okay, so yeah, this brush is great for smoothing it out a bit. Okay. So I'm just going back and forth. And we can go with some more white. Now this technique here of running the white over top of the paint is actually called scumbling. So I'm putting this sort of in the area where we're going to put down the face. So that's a... But I also want some of these colors to come through on the face. If that makes any sense. Sometimes that makes no sense at all. Okay. I'm just kind of fixing that up. Doing this fast because acrylics dry fast. Even with the GAC, it just seems to dry pretty fast. Okay, so we've got this all done. I'm going to put a bit more of the magenta, and we'll get some of this, mix it all in. That's so much fun. Yeah. Okay. When you see me wipe it off like that, I'm just wiping off blobs that I have that I don't want sticking to the painting. So we got the sides done. I'm just going to clean them up a little bit. These are a couple of backup brushes I have over here. All right. So this is pretty smooth. Okay, see me just kind of blending that in. And then I see a little bit of debris, and you can pick that out either with your fingernail or with your palette knife, like I just did, and then go back in and just kind of fix it up a little bit. Okay, so this is stage 2, and next we will be putting the face on here, transferring it from the we will be transferring it from the tracing paper directly onto here. And with this brush, I have made the layer of paint is pretty smooth, so it should go on quite well. So you can just go in and smish-mash it around a little bit, like so. And make sure it's all nice and smooth. And maybe we'll Just go, then you look around at spots that look like they weren't covered and just add a little bit more paint. Like you can see right here, there's some canvas showing through, so let's put a little dab in there, cover it up. Some people leave the texture of the canvas showing through. It's not my style, but you know, that's up to you. I mean, you can if you want, but I don't. I like to cover everything, make sure it's nice and smooth with paint. You can add a little bit more paint here and there if you want. Okay. All right, well, let's let that sit for a few minutes so it dries, and I'm going to go wash my brushes. How exciting. Okay, take two. Okay, I am going to do some stencils. It's fairly dry. It's just a little bit, well, a little tacky, but that's okay for stencils. So we're going to maybe use a sponge brush, one of these. And let's try some of this dark blue. I'm going to just do it at random, see what we come up with. So I'm just using the sponge brush and just lightly rubbing it over. You don't have to rub it in or anything real hard. Ooh, I like that. That is very cool. Okay, and let's do another little bit down here. These are fun. Yeah, that looks good. And then we could do a bit more here. Just random. If you have some stencils, you can just do some random bits and pieces here and there. All right, I am going to put that over there. And I have my new favorite, this one from Joggles. And I just did this on one of my girl faces. And here it is here. And it's the roses. They're so cool. Love, love, love. So use this. And I'm going to throw maybe a bit of GAC on here. Where's my GAC? Oh, I've used it up already. Okay, so we'll do it some blue, maybe a bit of the pink. So let's start with the pink. That might be interesting. And I'm just gently going over this. This is a very thin stencil, so it's not quite as hardy as my other ones. All right. All right, I'm getting real deep colored magenta here. And now I'm going to go into a bit of white and the blue, the darker blue. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, there you have there and here. And let's try a combo on the edges. Now, when we put the face on, we might be covering that up, but it makes a great background. Look at that. Oh, that's so yummy. And I'm going to put some right here too. The magenta. There we go. There's one. And a bit more. I love this stencil, as you can tell. Addicted. So you don't have to use the whole part of the rose. This is kind of interesting here because I just put a dark bit here, left a patch there, not stenciled. So I'm going to do some more over here. Maybe we'll just do white with some light there. A little touch of green. It doesn't have to be like solid color inside the stencil. It makes it look more interesting. And then I can go on the sides as well and also do stenciling too. So you can easily do it at the sides, but I think we'll do that after the fact when the finished piece is done. It looks like we got some stuff on here. And add some stenciling. So dry again. We're going to make sure it dries nice and dry, and then we'll come back. And it's like, look at my hands. So when I come back, that's when we're going to put the face on there and start that next process. So stay with me, watch to the end to see the whole meal deal, what we're doing. This is really important. So I challenge you to paint along with me and stop at the times I stop and finish what you're painting, and then jump in again and have fun, okay? Good stuff. All righty. Okay, and we're going to stop. We're back, and it's time to prep the drawing for putting on canvas. So, I mean, if you wanted to, here's an idea. You could always cut this out and glue it right to your canvas and then start painting over top of that, because it's not going to show anyways. But we are going to put it on there properly. And I need to find, oh boy, here. There it is. Okay, this is a woodless pencil, and it's a 4B. And what I'm going to do is flip it over like so, and just go like this on the lines. Do not use carbon paper. It's nasty. This is much cleaner. I mean, you could probably get away with it if you're working with acrylics on canvas, but if you're going on watercolor or any kind of paper, it does not live, which really sucks. I don't like that. Okay. All right, we've got our beautiful canvas here, and it feels fairly dry. It's just a little bit tacky. So figure out where you want the face. I'm one for just putting it over a little bit one way or the other. So we can have it, well, right about there. That might be good. So we've got the carbon on the back. And then just go in with a colored pencil so you can see what you've already done. And go over it and trace it. I don't want to have one at my fingertips here, so I'm going to use this. I'll just go. And like I say, you can always tweak this, you know, once you've got it on and you start painting. So these lines are quite thick that I'm putting on. And it's like, look, it's taking no time at all to do this. So you don't have to get fussy about it, because that takes time. And so just cover your spots, go over everything. And it just makes it a lot faster. I mean, if you want, you can freehand your drawing directly onto the canvas if you're confident. I can just sort of see her. She's there. So go in, and you can draw in with your pencil, like so. The exclamation for this was, in my video, I thought I had it all videoed, and apparently the part where I started the face, the camera wasn't recording. So I bring my camera home to edit and then find out I have no footage of this particular part of the video. So here we are. We're kind of slapping something together here. And of course I don't have the same colors. They're not here at home, because at home I do mostly watercolors. Okay, so, but you will get the drift. Anyways, I just want to make sure I can get the face done. We're going to go over that so we just barely can see it. But this, so imagine this, the pencil on top of the painting, because that's the way that we did it. And I prefer to do it that way, actually. It doesn't matter, as long as your end result makes you happy. So I'm going to wipe off some of this so it gives it that kind of see-through look. I don't even have hardly any of my liquid acrylics here at home. They're all at my store. So this is a bit of a challenge. So let's let this dry and then we'll go back at it. It's going to be different, but the concept of doing the face will be the same. So stick around and ring that bell if you like what you're seeing and are enjoying my videos. You'll get notified when I put up part 3, because this is going to be, I'm not taking it all the way to the end like this. We're going to take it to the next stage. So the piece I brought home, here it is. And you can see it. So there's the stage that I got to. So I'm going to show you how I block in with white and then start laying a little bit of face colors and outlining the lines, the eyes. I can't talk. If you want to thin it out on the face, you can spray a little bit of water and let's grab the brush. And I'm just going to wash it off her face a little bit so I can see, so you can see where she's at. And just do this. Everything works just fine. There are no mistakes in art. It's just a different way of doing it. Okay, so I just did a really quick sketch, but of course she won't look like that when we're done. So I'm just going to do the next step and we'll block in and then go from there. So, and next week will be hopefully the completion. So we got some Sennelier and some white, and I'm just going to block in where the highlights are. So that's basically what I did. So on this one, just go onto the eyes right here, your cheeks. So block in above here and down here. Comes together really quick. I'm going to shape her face a little better here. And you know, you can always reshape the face. It's not a big deal. And just have at it. Okay, so I'm just blocking that. Cleaning up my shapes like so. So that's the Sennelier there, and I'm putting a little bit more of this here. And let the color come through, your base colors. So we did those blues and turquoise and let them come through. So this is basically what I did on that one, start off with. So we did that. I have this one here, so a little finer brush. And I'm going to open up my big pot of Payne's Gray. There we go. And I'm going to outline the eyes. So I just have a bit of Payne's Gray on here. And this is dry. So I'll just outline. Yeah, so I quite often I use the Payne's Gray instead of using black. In case you're wondering why I'm using Payne's Gray. So just kind of do your thing there. I'm getting paint all over me. All right. And I'm going to get some real straight Payne's Gray. So I'm going to have her eyes looking off to my right, your left, like so. Makes it a little bit more interesting when they're not looking straight forward. I believe, yeah, she's looking straight forward.
but you don't have to do that. Okay, so it's also good to leave a little white underneath the eye. So, like so. Okay, and I'm going to just put a little now you can change this too. It's like just because we made it dark doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Quite often I go back in and I lighten them up. Nothing is in stone. Remember that. And there are no mistakes in art. It's just going in a different direction. And I'm going to just mark in where her eyebrow is. Just real light. Just so you get a little bit of definition there. She's got one eyebrow higher than the other. Okay, so that can be fixed. You just draw a little bit down, a little lower. Simple. And I'll put a little bit of this on here, and we'll mix it up a little bit. So I can just get the shape of her nose. And then I'm just going to lightly put in a bit of her mouth. Looks like that's a bit wet, so I'm going to clean that up. But you can see how easily it starts to come and take shape. So that's all we're doing. We're just creating shadows and highlights. You know, if you look at a lot of the famous people that have done portraiture, like, you know, this kind of stuff that's not realism, they're not perfect. The eyes are not perfect, and they're not, you know, sometimes there's one larger than the other. And if you look at your own face, you have one eye larger than the other. I mean, I have kind of a sleepy eye. One of my eyes is kind of weird. But, you know, you don't notice it so much when it's on somebody's face. But if you're looking at somebody's portrait, it's like you get the magnifying glass out. So we won't do that though. All right, so let's see. I've got these humongous, because I do big paintings in my studio here, which is out in the garage. So that's why I've got these huge containers of paint. Okay, so I'm going to do this blue, put a blue. Oops, let's mix up some, make her eyes look interesting. Like so. But none of this is going to be there. By the time we're finished, none of this will be there. This is the ugly stage, and you guys have to realize that. We have the ugly stage, and then we start moving towards the beautiful stage. So don't worry about it. Okay, this is very basic. Okay, so now I'm going to take some white, and I like to put a highlight right here. And then you have your lip tip right here. And then you have your chin here. So that gives you a little bit there. And then you've got your highlight here. It's a bit thick and gooey. So if you're getting into acrylics, buy yourself some decent brushes. It's really important. Get some brushes that are good. They're going to do the job for you. Don't buy cheap crap, especially if you know that you're going to do this. I highly recommend it. It makes a big difference. Good quality paints and good quality brushes. And you'll be half the way there to becoming a master. I see people on YouTube and they're battling with, I look at their brushes and it's like, oh, ouch. But if you have good brushes, you know, like this one's not too bad and it wasn't real expensive. This is a, I can't read it. I got so much acrylic all over it. But I believe I bought it at Michael's, but you know, it's not the bottom of the line, it's kind of middle of the line. And it's working pretty good at moving the paint around. So I'm just kind of putting some white under her eyes, getting her eyes leveled out. And then you can go in and do the whites of her eyes too, a little bit here. Get some lips shaped out. So it's just a thin down white I'm putting on here, and then we'll put a nice pink or red over top. All right, so that basically gets you to this stage, okay? That's just the part that I missed out on. We've got all this is on the video, as you've seen, and then the next stage is completing the face. So that's going to be really fun, and I like doing that. It's a journey because we're just winging it, unless you've got a picture of somebody's face that you're following, and you can see the shadows and stuff. But for me, I just make these up. These are all made up out of my head. Maybe a bit crazy, I don't know. Anyways, I'll tell you a story. It's funny, when my mom was alive, I used to call her a dingbat because she'd done dumb things all the time. And boy, did I ever get a good wake-up call today on that one. I could not figure out where the video was for this. It drove me crazy trying to edit it, and I was going right out of my mind. I spent about 4 hours working on editing this video that you are now watching. And so yeah, I'm the dingbat too now. I earned it. Okay. So just again, let you know, yes, it looks weird. And yes, you didn't sign up to make an ugly painting. But I guarantee when we get done, she's going to be gorgeous. Just you wait and see. I'll just have my proper brushes at my store, and she'll be beautiful. We'll see you next week. Just going to add some of this color here. And you know, you can put some blue here and there. It's okay. It's like you can, I love the paintings that have lots of color in them. I love the faces that have color, duh, obviously. But yeah, they're just fun. It's just fun. It's just about having fun, guys. Don't take yourself too serious like I did back 30 years ago. It stopped me from doing faces. And since I started doing faces, I really love it. I can sit in front of the television when we're watching TV at night, and George is, of course, glued to the TV, and I just sit there drawing. I make all these incredible drawings, and I like, wow. I'm just amazed myself. What can I say? But it's really fun. Yeah, see? We have a face, guys. So I sure hope you're painting along with me, because that's a good thing. And I'm thinking of doing a live, maybe a couple times a month, to communicate and meet you all and teach you how to do this, how to get over some stuff. As we're sitting here, my sister is texting me from Hawaii, and it's so funny because she goes, well, she's watching one of my videos, and she's going, well, I didn't know it was okay to use an eraser. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do anything without an eraser. What could I say? But I mean, I can't believe people didn't know that, you know? So I guess I can show you a whole lot of things that I just took for granted. And, you know, I'm pretty much self-taught, and I've been studying a bunch of my friends on YouTube that are absolutely fabulous. And And plus, I took a course in 2020 from willowing.org, and that's really what opened up the whole world for me, was Tamara Laporte. And oh, she's such a good teacher. And she basically taught me how to do faces just from watching her videos and being a good girl and paying attention. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And sorry, it's not the same one that we started with, but it will end up with the same one that we started with. Does that make any sense? Okay. Bye for now, and see you soon. And thanks for watching.